You're listening to episode 56 of the Underhook Show. My name is Steve, as always, alongside my co-host Chris. Chris, how you doing on this Wednesday evening?
Talk about pay-per-view to talk about,
Yeah,
some good TV to talk about. I'm just ready. I'm ready to rock and roll, bro.
yeah, a whole lot of AEW to talk about with the pay-per-view coinciding television. Have you been watching anything else over the past week?
No, I tried out the Dark Side of the Ring on Big Boss Man this morning, which was pretty cool. It's a good episode. Other than that, no, it's been really chilling. We watched a random Zona event today. I couldn't tell you anything about it, but it was on.
Hey, that's good though. Sometimes just throwing something on, and maybe we might find a new favorite or something.
Oh, I did. I don't know what this person's name was, but they look like he just came from right off the street. I don't know what this person's name was, but yeah,
I
rat,
can't. I
yeah,
gotta
rat
like.
tail. It was awesome.
I gotta go through my spreadsheets. I can't think of he's got like some crazy name where it's like numbers in it and shit. There's this one dude though who like comes out in a suit with like the hair slicked back and he like drinks tequila with the crowd.
This guy looks he looks homeless. Is the nicest way I can put it. I'm not trying to even be.
And
I
it's
don't know,
not
man.
Maquato.
No, McCardle's the older guy, the old guy, right?
Yeah, he looks
No,
crazy.
this guy's young. This dude's, yeah, I don't know.
But something with the tequila guy, it's a cheat code because he's drinking so much before the match. And by the time he blades, it's like buckets.
It's like Sandman.
Yeah, it's the same
No,
man. It's the same man bit, dude. Speaking of, I just got through November to Remember 1996, and the Sandman Raven stuff's really good.
Fonzie
Also,
get that shit on, huh?
all-time Taz promo to open the show, dude. And Fonzie had on, like, for the visual, Team Taz shirt tucked in with the leather jacket and fucking cowboy boots.
Ain't all nothing.
No, not at all. But the Taz Sabu stuff's heating up too. I'm gonna feel real good heading into 97. I just got like 8 or 9.
I never started. Barely legal.
Yeah, Funk's back now, so like we're building to we're gonna start building towards it. I just got like a shitload of fan cams I gotta get through, and then I'll have the video done after something else we'll talk about on here next week. Because next week will be our last one for at least a week, but like I said, we're rolling with the punches here. Glad we're getting Grand Slam Mexico in though before I have to step away.
I loved it last year when they went there. So
It is SummerSlam week.
sure is.
What's on
I
that show?
The only match that I really am gonna lock in, I want to watch is Oba and Brock because I like Oba, but
Let me
I
look at this
think there's
card.
a Rollins versus Reigns match on there. There's a
Holy Chat GPT match graphics. That's wow.
yeah, we could probably just knock out this card real quick. Like it's
Yeah,
like
because I'll be real, I've not been tapped in at all.
yeah,
So
we can just really quick go down the SummerSlam card. I mean,
I got it pulled up here. If
yeah,
you want me to
I
just
got yeah. If you want to start it, I got Saturdays pulled up because why not have
this
this
is
stuff
not
on there?
I doubt we're gonna be in the same order, so you're just meeting me in the middle.
Yeah, we could do that.
They're running EO Morgan, wow. Batting 1,000 already. I took notes of the pay-per-view at least. Liv Morgan, EO Sky, whatever. I mean, Ova Brock, Hell in a Cell. I mean, probably will be Beast, but at the same time, like there's always barriers to entry of Brock these days. So, I mean, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it if I don't
Yeah,
see it.
that's why I sounds like I'm gonna catch it eventually. Well, if I don't catch it Saturday, 'cause Saturday I won't because I'm going to a show. But
Punk Cody, I'll probably watch. You know me, I'm a Punk. I'll tune in for the Punk stuff. Their promos in the years past have been really good, so I will actually do a crash course on this for the builds for this.
you won't do a crash course for LA Knight, Royce, Salt Sokoa versus the Bloodline.
Hey, shout out Hobbs getting that SummerSlam paycheck.
I will say something. My algorithm on TikTok has been is wrestling all the time, so it's fine. I love it. The clips that I'm getting of Solo Sokoa though have been priceless. Like him on the mic, give this man a mic every time. He might not be the best in the ring, but if you give him on the microphone, it's funny. So
I
I
can't
know.
remember the last time I've actually watched Solo to really have a.
The clips I'm seeing are hilarious. I mean, it's a bright spot, and of something.
Yeah, if I ever open up TikTok again, I'll have to indulge. I tried bringing my YouTube shorts over to TikTok and it just didn't work. But I mean, people engage with them though. It's
Plus,
just
it's a weird like it's a niche thing market for like TikTok for wrestling content creators. I think.
well, I've tried using it to promote my business and I've tried using it to promote my YouTube channel, but what I've noticed is people aren't gonna go on TikTok to like go to another app. They're on there to just scroll through TikTok. And that's by design, so hey, you tried something that didn't work, we move on. Gunther Nick Aldis, that's happening.
Oh, I forgot this was happening. I kind of want to watch this too. Yes, it is happening.
Man, I mean, hey, don't ever count out Gunther, man. I mean,
That's
it's
what I
still
said.
still
They're
him.
gonna make it. You're gonna make it happen.
Bella Twins and Paige versus Fatal Influence next.
Yeah, yeah.
No, hey, I mean, hey, get your payday, but I'm good on that. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, I am good on that.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Gable's Chad Gable again. If I'm gonna watch anything from night 2, it's probably gonna be that.
It will definitely be this, or for me, it will be Zayn versus Balor because I'm a Balor
Yeah,
fan. So
I'm sure that'll be fine as well.
that ladder match might be low key good if Chelsea Green wins.
Stratton, Cargill, Green, Flair, Julia Lashley. Who even wins that?
It's either.
Interim title, it will probably be Jade then, right?
I mean, unless you want to be nice and give it to Chelsea, but just because it's interim, you know what I'm saying? But it's
Yeah,
probably Jade.
I haven't been watching enough to have a pulse on
That's
who,
what I'm saying.
who they would
I
belt up.
don't know, but I'm hoping Chelsea. As a fan, I'm hoping Chelsea because I love Chelsea.
Yeah, Human Money's on a pole match. Man, look at Danhausen go.
Hey, I am not mad at Danhausen getting this bag right now. So
Probably gonna get a lot more Human Monies than that. Yeah, Zayn Balor, I'm sure that'll be fine. Baron Corbin's back in WWE.
yeah, he came back on a random SmackDown and attacked Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. I think.
Man,
Do you know who else is coming back on Monday night after SummerSlam?
who's that?
Big Cass.
Good for him.
So I'm not mad at that because that's a good. I'm sad that we won't get to see him and Big Bill ever again, but or
Yeah,
him as Big Bill ever again. But
I was a big Bill guy, so I
I
mean,
was a Big Bill and Brian Keith guy, but here, whatever he seems to be in a better health spot. So cool, I'm with it.
yeah, good for him. Well, if you are watching SummerSlam, hope you find something to enjoy. I will.
It will be.
I'll probably.
I will say on Sunday it will be on as background noise. Saturday won't be. I am going to see my dogs and Death Creeper play. So
For the Fallen Dreams on that, right?
hell yeah, them too. But see, my thing is like if they're not doing changes, I don't really, not my.
Were you at the tangent here before we get into Redemption? Were you at the Misery Signals final show?
Yeah, remember we were out there.
Yeah, like, dude, they were before the Fallen Dreams was fucking awesome on
They
that
were
show.
they were awesome, but I didn't know any other song except the ones they played off changes.
But they still play a lot of changes to be
They
fair.
did. They did.
They
So
played like Never Again and Hope. Like I think they played Hopeless and all that. Dude, that record's just
yeah, that's top tier. For no skips.
yeah.
No skips.
That's like the sacred text for like the type of shit Stowaway does and will continue to do. So, right. Well, the reason we're here to have this conversation: All Elite Wrestling presents Redemption from the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Yeah. So you want to know why I didn't watch the show live?
What's up?
So after us complaining, I was getting tacos but after you and I are on here, praising the fact that the show starts an hour early, I just didn't clock that the show started an hour early. So I told my brother, I'm like, yeah, we got an hour and a half till bell time. Let's go eat, And when I check, he's like, what's on the card tonight? I'm like, let me check. And then I had like results for like the first 3 matches. I was like, shit. All right. So I get home. I probably get the show on by 7:30. And then it was like 10 o'clock by the time Maya World versus Sheeta wrapped up. And I was like, you know what? I got like 4 or 5 matches. I'm just going to finish this in the morning, which I didn't get to it till this morning. Here's the crazy part. You know how much time was left on the show after the TBS Championship match? 2.5 fucking hours.
Yeah. Because my complaint, and I'm going to do this now before the end of this fucking card, is why are you starting this shit an hour early, Kelly, and you're still having it going 5 fucking hours? Stop it.
How now? Here's the double-edged sword here, right? Because I didn't watch this live, and because I watched it in basically 3 sittings, because I took a lunch break before
It was
the two.
easier for you to digest, probably.
I could appreciate the matches more in a vacuum, but I still have the caveat of like either A, this is going too long, or B, this should not be on a pay-per-view.
We have a lot of
But
those that there shouldn't be on pay-per-views on this.
yes, however, for the sake of us, sitting here having our weekly discussion about pro wrestling, we're here to cover the material. I came prepared to cover the material, so I don't want to just dismiss the match as just, you know,
No, there was a lot of high spots on this, like a lot of good matches on this, like wrestling on this card, I should say. It's just a lot of
oh
it
yeah,
didn't need
from a
to
booking
happen.
perspective, yeah, from a booking perspective though, this was just all over the fucking place.
Yeah,
Did you watch the pre-show?
I did. Yes. Do I remember the pre-show? No.
So for the sake of me, I figured, well, I'm picking this show up after the fact anyways. Might as well go back for the conglomeration tag, which it was fine. It was just more of like the last thing the show needed was like a 12-minute 6-man tag. But it was fine. It was like, and it played into the title switch tonight. But we can start from the top here. Wow, I sent you the cage match, and then I deleted the tab. What am I doing?
First match, I got you, bro. First match of the night is Mike Bailey, El Clone, Jack Perry, Commander, Nick Wayne, and the Beast Mortos in a ladder match for the #1 contendership for the international title.
Yep, thank you, Chris. 20 minutes, 2 seconds. First off, we got our predictions completely wrong for the extra spots because we were convinced it was going to be Leo Rush and AR Fox, and we got the opposite. I really wish AR Fox was. I really wish AR Fox was in this match, though.
I really wish Leo Rush would have been. But hey, this was a solid opener. Shouldn't have went 20 minutes. Solid opener. But we all kind of knew me and you already kind of figured the winner in a sense.
Which I think it was the correct winner. This was a fun stunt show, but this is the old head take. I'm just gonna say it now. You could tell that at no point anybody was actually trying to win the match.
That was a spot fest for sure.
And like I understand people are pointing to Perry hitting his head on the contract for doing the destroyer, but even the shit on the stage, like they did a whole like stack him up, knock him down, moonsault thing, and then it's like all he had to do was take the ladder, get in the ring, and he's like, nope, my turn. It was good to see guys like the Beast Mortos and Commander again. Like I said, AEW's had its fair share of visa issues throughout the year, ongoing. And yeah, I mean, for a stunt show thing to get the crowd going, it was fine. I do agree that it was a little bit too long. But when it came down to it, what it's all about, Speedball having his big triumph in his hometown, the way that they got to that was awesome because the stomp on the outside by El Clone to take him out of the match looked just disgusting.
There's a lot of nasty spots in this match, I will say that.
Yeah, and it's just a classic, like, babyface is out of sight, out of mind. Here he comes at the end of the match, and then it wins. Absolute right winner, though. As we said, Fletcher and Speedball have tremendous chemistry, and they're not waiting too long to get this match going. That will be in Arena Mexico next. Yeah. Next match, real mixed bag here as far as idea meets execution. The Young Bucks defeat the Death Rider pairing of Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay in 19 minutes, 36 seconds. Now, I appreciate what they tried to do, where one guy gets injured, so it essentially turns into a handicap match, and with Moxley starting to pressure Ospreay into being a lot more belligerent with his violence. That really works. I think Moxley was tremendous in this match, especially with like these little spur of the moment things. Like he does the pile driver on the outside and he catches the camera in the corner of his eye, so then he flips the bird just to add that little bit of, a little bit of venom to it. At the end of the day, though, like it's still the Young Bucks, so it just I feel like it collapsed into a Young Bucks match, like before they could really drive home the point of the story they were trying to tell.
I'll say that this was probably one of my favorite Young Bucks matches in the most recent time, like in the most recent memory for me, just because of the story it was telling, I guess. For on the other end, they were helping tell the story of the Will and Mox,
Yeah, and then obviously like you're getting your classic Young Bucks fireworks by the end. Like I did like quite a bit of this. Yeah, I did enjoy quite a bit of this.
Yeah, I think it's just me being a Young Bucks mark because like like I said, I'm a PWG guy. But like I will say when they're having a they've had bad matches and I've called them out on it. But like it's weird where it's going from here. I guess I should say. But we'll get there. Well,
By the end of the pay per view, we can have that discussion.
yeah,
I wish that they just stuck with the idea a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Because then
yeah.
before you know it,
That's
we're
where
being told we're being told he's supposed to be concussed, and then then it just gets into like the madness, and the madness is good. I mean, you know, like the Bucks do the Bucks thing better than anybody, but it's like just wish they for what we were doing, what we're setting up here for the rest of the show, stuck like we're just a little bit more consistent with it. But I'm with you. I didn't hate this match. I actually I enjoyed it quite a bit.
nice way to get. Well, so correct me if I'm wrong. So the Bucks had to win this match to get the title shot, or
I
what?
don't know about that.
Okay,
Yeah,
carry on.
I couldn't tell you about that, but I
Because that's
think
the
it
way.
was more of
Well, that's like the way that they were telling the story was like they had to win this match to get the title shot. Which okay, cool. More because I was more looking at it as like, why is this match happening? And then if that's the case, if the Bucks had to win one more match, but why are they going against my whatever? Carry on. Yes, but it makes sense at the end of the night. But
yeah. I have things down here that I should probably just wait.
yeah, it's right to the end. This
Yeah. Otherwise, though, I mean, look, if you like what the Bucks and Osprey do, you'll like this. I think if you're kind of into more of the nuts and bolts of the match, watch Moxley play disruptor on the outside. Like any time the Bucks try to get something going in the first half of the match, he just bolts around to the other side. Make sure he's frustrating. Make sure he's just an oppressive force. And like when Moxley's like full on like in Death Rider Moxley mode, man, like that's why we love him so much. So I thought Moxley, like, again, me praising Moxley, you know, sky's blue, but he was great in this match.
7 years ago today, he was trying to buy DVDs off Yano.
Yeah, man, his G1 run was a lot of fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that went right into
I met
AW
tonight.
International Title match. Probably mine too, either this or the main event. For me, but Kyle Fletcher defeats Bandito in 26-14. The only thing that really held this back from me being like blow away great is just that it got a little bit long in the tooth. Like I think you could have capped this at 20 minutes and this would have been tremendous.
Didn't need to go 26. Could have
I
went
was
20. Didn't need to have all the false finishes.
I was genuinely surprised though in the match layout for this. And this is like when I get in my bag about Kyle Fletcher, this is the exact shit I'm talking about, and I mean that in a positive way. First off, early scare, so he just immediately starts stalling. And I really thought that this was just going to be like all gas, no brakes, because that's kind of the spot Bandito's filled on these pay per view cards. And the way that Fletcher's title reign's gone up to this point, he's been kind of in that same lane. But no, Fletcher came with actual working boots on. Like he wasn't doing the wrapped like wrestling shoes. He was wearing the traditional knee high ring boots and worked like it. Like he really took his time in the first half of this match, and I was loving every second of it, man. In control, getting heat, letting the crowd register. Like dude, this is like Fletcher was like operating at an extremely high level, and I didn't mind when Bandito started to come back, and they did get into a lot of the wacky, like just really crazy, hyper athletic, you know, calling card stuff. I just think there was a little bit too much of it.
Terry even made a mention of Kyle Fletcher's attire too. I think it was Excalibur, might have been. Saying this is the first time he's worn long tight, or the kick pair boots.
Yeah, just straight up boots. Because I
Yeah.
think the difference between like boots, if you're wearing, or unless you're wearing, like, look, I mean, not like I've worn, I mean, not like I've wrestled, but I mean, if you played any sort of sports, what you are wearing on your feet does impact how you move. That's why basketball shoes will be shaped certain ways. That's why obviously if you're on grass, you're on spikes. I think the real difference here between the wrestling boots and like either like shooter boots or wrestling shoes, or like if you're rocking the kick pads or whatever, is the wrestling boots are very flat. There's no contour on the bottom, on the heel, so or sole rather. But I mean, Fletcher was doing everything he had to. Obviously, like when it was time for him to speed up. I mean, shit, the anti-air stuff, all the cutoffs.
That 21 plex dragon, 21 dragon suplex. Yeah, Jesus.
And that was a really nice inversion too, because he hit the 21 plex on TV.
Yeah.
So for Fletcher to be prepared this time, Bandito anticipating that, you get this really awesome, flashy moment. That's what you want out of these two guys, and I think Fletcher was able to ground it for the majority of the match. And yeah, this was sweet, man. I really enjoyed this, and just when I look at that Kyle Fletcher, I'm like, holy shit, like he's gonna be running the show before we know it.
I say world champ next 2 years,
Oh yeah,
maybe less.
I think for Bandito though, I mean, unless he's in a new trio that we'll talk about tonight, like time for him to stop losing all the time though.
Yeah, like shit. Let's shitter you out the pot in this sort of sense, you know? Because we all want it, fans want it. Like let's we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
yeah. It's kind of the perfect example though of what I'm about this show in general, where it's like in a vacuum, like yeah, Kyle Fletcher Bandito, really good match. Big picture, I mean Bandito has lost quite a bit when it's mattered, so just something to consider. Now call me crazy. What is everybody talking about with this chain match of it being some like all time shitter match? Because I did not think it was. I have a big issue with it, but I didn't think it was their fault.
I just think it was the way this card is ran.
So, for context, the Dogs defeat Bang Bang Gang. You know, Connors and Finlay defeat Jay White and Juice Robinson 17 minutes 35 seconds in the double chain match via Death Rider's interference. And the whole time I'm thinking, oh, they can't blade here. That's what's holding this back, despite the fact that, you know, like they're beating the living shit out of each other. Jay White gets dropped on his forehead at one point, gets his spine driven into the ring post. I'm like, man, like they just did the thing again where they booked a match like this where they can't blade. I don't think so, because tell me why Chris Jericho's out here rubbing sandpaper to an open wound an hour later.
Oh, I'm wondering.
I think they got big league.
Because why would you book this match and the No Holds Barred match on the same show if they're gonna? Yeah, no, that's just bad booking right here. Great, this wasn't a bad match. Like this had nothing to do with any four of these guys. This is bad booking. Period.
I was like, I opened up Twitter as I was getting home, and everybody's talking about like the worst match you could think of was taking place, and I mean, this was clearly held back. I understand like kind of the more slower, more physical stuff. Like, is it going to be like every AEW fan's idea of what it should be? But I didn't think this was like a stinker. I didn't really think there was a stinker on this show, like through and through. I mean, the Jericho match I have a lot of issues with, but I mean, like, that's more of a tonal thing.
The only match I didn't care for the most would be the Jericho match. I think that the tag team title match wasn't memorable, but it wasn't horrible. But it
wasn't memorable, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like once again, I'll get the notes out for that. But
like this match, like everyone's like, oh yeah, no,
I wasn't seeing.
That's what I just keep saying. That's just
I wasn't seeing what other people were seeing. I think it needed blood, but I did not think this was nearly as bad as it was being made out to be. Now, granted, I had those expectations coming into it because I saw the reactions before I saw the match. A lot of good ideas, a lot of nasty bumps. It got real messy at the end with the interference, but no, like I mean, I think if you ran this back, you know, under different circumstances, it would have been a lot more successful.
Yeah.
I hope Jay White's okay. I mean, maybe he was just selling the injury, but I mean, like that Dominator, like he fucking landed square on his forehead, dude.
I hope it's just concussion protocol type thing. And
yeah, because you'd hate to see him go out after just coming back after so long.
Steve, I promise you, he just came back.
Yeah.
And I promise you, if I go to All Out and we can't see King Switch,
you're gonna be held to pay.
I mean, then again, I thought I was gonna see. We'll get there because I thought I was gonna see some machine guns tonight. I didn't see those either. But.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing, but it was to say that they might just not roll all these people out of women. Yeah. Stick a pin in it for now, my friend. We got a lot more pay-per-view to get through. My World versus Hikaru Shida. I mean,
we called it.
We didn't call it.
We wanted it to happen. But
once again, for all our criticisms towards the booking of the women's division, they actually followed through on My World, and really happy for her. Match was fine. I think it was just, you know, real basic babyface heel stuff. And he had some cool moments like the top rope stretch muffler looked nasty. Funny thing about My World's finisher, like earlier in the year when I started 96 ECW, Ray did that same bridging fallaway slam against Juventud.
I've seen it. I was like, who used it? Like, I've seen this before, but I haven't seen it. Like, no one's used it. Like,
Yeah, like I posted it under Lost Move Alert. So I'm like, nobody's doing that right now. Well, shit, my world made it found. It's a found move. Like, and it's really cool. Nobody does that.
when she busted it out tonight, I was like, 'cause I didn't know exactly what her finisher was until I saw the pay per view, and then I saw it tonight. And I was like, oh, that's her. That is hard. That's a dope move.
Yeah, it's really cool because you like again, like you said, you don't really see that these days, so it stands out
And
and
you can
it's
hit it literally from anywhere. Honestly, you just snap.
yeah, and then like impact with like into the bridge, like there's a ton of leverage there, so it's really cool. Great moment for her though, just really nice to see that the company is firmly behind her, making somebody new because they've really needed that in that division, and it feels like they're being a bit more considerate towards it with everything between this and then, heading into Wembley. But don't have too much to say about this one other than it was a fine match, but more about the crowning moment.
Shut up, my world. DP Dub forever.
I will say, though, you could tell that Maya has been working incredibly hard in the rooms. Like, she really had to work to get this crowd invested, but then, like, by the time she was, like, hitting her topes and stuff like that, everybody was firmly behind her, and which built to, the catharsis of her actually winning. So, man, she's, on top of just the concerted effort to push her, you can tell she's really working hard. And she's been really impressive.
Seemed weak.
During the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
At times. Yeah, at times.
I couldn't tell if it was like me or if it was like just how it was coming off. I was like, man, this seems quiet here.
No, there's definitely some dead moments in the air. But again, it's a 5-hour show.
Yeah, I mean, I did. The only part of the pre-show that I remember now that I can remember is the Rougeau was coming out, and they booed that. They booed Jacques. That was the only time they got loud.
Yeah, I didn't check out the Rougeau stuff. That's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, they booed him. I don't know what the heat is there.
Death Riders versus Cajun Cope. This would have been like a good TV match. I understand why Cajun Cope are on a pay-per-view in Canada and they are the tag champs, but like, this is the perfect example of in a vacuum to where I'm like watching this, I'm seeing what's being done well. This was particularly on Death Riders' end, particularly Claudio, man. Claudio came to fucking work, dude. He dragged this match to being successful, man. Everything he was doing, the timing, the cutoffs, just the in control. He's just a fucking man. I don't know what else to say there, but obviously Cajun Cope would successfully defend in 18 minutes 36 seconds, and really, I will play the too long card here because Death Riders were in such an overwhelming control that was like they're wearing them down, only for it to be like they lose.
Yeah, really quick. They got went out the room for a second and I came back and because when I left, the Death Riders were in control and I was like, oh, I'll be right back. This match is probably going to go on for, that was probably at the 15-minute mark. And I was like, I'll be back. Came back and I think Cajun Cope, I don't even remember how they wanted to be 1,000% fair.
They had their opening, got some offense in, and then Ed just kind of had to hang in there long enough to hit a spear.
Huh. So a typical
Cajun
Cope, man.
Yeah. Owen Hart length singlet pack once again.
I remember that. I remember him rocking the singlet. I just didn't remember the ending, but okay. Yo, my other new favorite pack is a t-shirt tucked in sweatpants. Looks like Rocky's trainer.
Adrian! Right. Okay, the only thing I had here. Time to start keeping score. How many shithouse openings to the matches we had here? Because Edge came out first, which I thought was strange because the only champion who normally enters first was Mercedes during her reign. Only for Death Riders to come out and jump him to establish control during the match. That is the first match on this show with a start of that nature. Keep that in the back of your mind. But overall, though, this was a decent match. I think this would have been way better, a way better fit for Dynamite than a pay-per-view. But yeah, honestly. But I mean, you're gonna have the Canadian wrestlers on the show. That's just it's one of those where I get it, but There's nothing we can do about it. It was always going to happen, but it shouldn't have. Bucks come out here after the match to announce the Wembley thing, but at the same time, like we were dealing with a concussed Nick Jackson, and here he's just waltzing out like nothing happened. Once again, shout out Pain of Truth. They were one of the official theme songs of the pay-per-view and got a dedicated shout out. Yeah, Pain of Truth getting a pay-per-view theme song is pretty awesome.
But so like, are they not They're not doing what we assumed then, huh?
I guess not. I would hope they would, because I mean, I think a bunch of moving parts interest me more than just Bucks versus Edge and Christian straight up. But I also feel like for them, they probably want just the straight up 2v2.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's like their dynasty match for them, you know?
Yeah, legacy game, right?
Yeah. So I mean, like Endgame, you could afterwards have some people debut, maybe, you know, possibly.
Yeah. Or if Bucks win, then you hit whoever's music, whoever you want to bring in first, whether it's the Guns or the New Day. I feel like because they've ran the Young Bucks versus the Machine Guns so many times, I feel like they're gonna try to make a bigger deal out of the New Day. Yeah, too. But man, when that riff hits and they bring back the proper, like the old music and stuff like that, it's gonna be awesome.
Either way, any of those teams debut is gonna be.
So I said there wasn't an outright stinker on the show, but if there was, but Jericho Ciampa was my least favorite match on this card, and it wasn't that like the violence, obviously they busted out all the stops, barbed wire tables, the drill, all that shit, like but this is my issue, and this is all on Jericho. The blow off to this match should have just been the beach break match. I actually enjoyed that match. I thought it hit the right spot of there. It was a heated blow off to finish the feud, and it was still a Jericho match, but it was reeled in enough to where I was like, okay, this works for me. You remember when we were sitting here a month ago and I was talking about how I loved the big fucked off cage match so much because they weren't trying to sell us it as something else? This is the something else that like Jericho is trying to sell on us. And what I mean by that is it's Painmaker Jericho and they're doing like deathmatch adjacent stuff, but it's still so tongue-in-cheek, and he's doing spots of the stuffed animal and the hockey pucks, and it just like I'm not saying every wrestling match has to be like doom and gloom and all serious and all this shit, but when you're trying to sell this as a blood feud, why do we got the stuffed Yuppie out there? Why is it comedy spots all of a sudden now when we're at the very tipping point of the feud?
The only thing I
I
did
was mentally checked out for this whole thing.
I didn't like. I'm mad that you got Champa over here jobbing at Jericho.
Yeah, he should have never lost this feud.
You know, and then now you got the only thing I did like was Jericho's theme music, some fucking 80s death metal or 80s metal, but even I didn't care for any of this. Like I tuned out. I was just like, no, I already knew this was my break match for 100%. I think.
I forgot this was on the show. So when the graphic flashed up on my TV today, I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like, I'm like, like the last one was decent. Jericho, for what it's worth, has been digestible this year. But this was vintage bullshit Jericho that I never want to see on my TV again. And I was mentally checked out. And then when I glanced over, it's like, God forbid Jay White bleeds on this show or Clark Connors bleeds on this show. But yet, after doing comedy spots, Jericho's running sandpaper into an open wound, which, to be fair, that's a sick spot, but like, it's just like,
out there.
Yeah, it's classic big leaguing bullshit. And he switched up his strategy here because typically Jericho will lose on pay-per-view and then get his win back on TV, but because this was in Canada, yeah, I hope mercifully this feud's over. Get Ciampa out of here, and if you want to talk about lists, Jericho is very much back on my shit list. I have no interest in seeing what he does next. I'll be real. This really left a poor taste in my mouth.
Like, every time he's on the TV, I'm definitely tuning out.
Because, I mean, the Ricochet stuff was fine. the first Ciampa match, the second Ciampa match, fine. Despite the one episode of Dynamite that they completely derailed. This though, like I'm fully just like, yeah, I'm done. Like I don't care anymore.
Right there with you, brother.
Two wrestlers we care about a lot more than Chris Jericho. Andrade El Idolo belted up, defeating Mark Davis in 16-13 for the national title. Match number 2 with the flash start, with Andrade hitting his nasty backspin elbow as the bell rings.
I like a good flash pin, you know? But
Yeah, however, what we got was pretty good.
it's probably like my second match of the night. Just because I like
And it was basically what we said it was going to be, where Davis will use his size, but he loves to just slug it out. And for the opening of this match, yeah, like this was these two going blow for blow until they get into the outside, and Davis hit that X-Plex on the apron, which I always love when wrestlers opt for the X-Plex because just that extra rotation just makes it look so nasty. I mean, anyway, you drop somebody in the apron, it's gonna suck, but like, I don't know. I'm a sucker for a good X-Plex. Shout out Moxley hitting the X-Plex on El Desperado onto the cut can board, for example. Yeah, that was sick. But what's cool about it is, because it talks about Andrade being like the small guy in the match. When Davis is able to dictate the match, it forced Andrade to really lean into his lucha background. Because how are you going to get around someone larger than you with your agility, with your aerial offense? And all that really worked for me.
like a Jericho match. Maybe I should have rushed this in parts.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that one. But I just thought that these two just played to their strengths, kept it simple, and we got a good match out of it. Now Andrade has a belt.
That's what we wanted. We now hopefully you can do that CMLL thing we talked about.
Yeah, because I don't think he's been announced. I would also look out for Tuesday's card, because last year they did they run Arena Mexico every Tuesday and Friday. CMLL does, that is. And on the Tuesday show last year, they had like Bandito versus Mascara Dorada. They had some Don Callis family involvement in tags. They had Red Velvet down there. So they usually do some more interpromotional stuff aside from just Dynamite. Yeah, I also saw for Friday they're doing Dorada versus Commander and Rod Dog versus Hechicero. Yeah. Also, Roddy and CMLL might have to bust out misery signals again. Yes, sir. That's the real right there.
Real goat right there.
Victim of target breakdown with the synchronized dancers. That's how I want to walk in. That's how I want to walk into every room.
It's like an AI video.
It was real.
But it's real, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
It's a fever dream.
Yeah. Moving on to the semi-main event of the evening. Willow Nightingale, as I live and breathe, is world champion. Defeating Tekla in 15 minutes, 58 seconds. Match number 3, where the match starts with somebody getting jumped. But Willow had an outstanding issue with Tekla. And
on site.
It was on site. And I really appreciated how they handled this match, because they really did beat the dog shit out of each other. And the way I would describe it, it's like, this wasn't a knife fight. This was like a sledgehammer fight, where there were these big wind-ups. But when the impact hit, man, it hit. And they had to take time to let it register and then collect themselves before they win again. And that really pulls from what you think of like a classic heavyweight clash. You know what I mean?
It also felt like a blood feud. Not a blood feud, but it felt like they two hated each other. Like an actual feud.
Yeah, it was like really nasty at times. Yeah. Like Tekla was going for the mandibles, and then like Willow was biting her, and like Tekla was picking at the ear wound and stuff. Like it really did capture that animosity. And I think this was a bit of a sleeper hit on the card, despite obviously like Willow winning is what people are going to take away from it. But I think Tekla went out on a good one. I think her title reign, while misdirected a lot of the time, she showed out on the pay-per-views themselves. Yeah, and then obviously, I think she's made now as like an AEW person. So
I love this match just because it felt exactly like what I just said. It felt like Willow had to literally do anything, had to be more poisonous in a sense than Tekla to win the match, and that's what they showed, you know. And
especially too after it being presented as like this grueling fight, that her just to win with the backslide,
yeah,
like just scraping, clawing out to get the big win. You know what I mean?
it was like doing your last ditch effort to do it, and you finally did it. It was awesome. It was a really good moment.
Yeah, well done by these two. Honestly, I think this one was slept on. Main event time. Well, main event match from the evening. Kenny Omega successfully defending his AEW World Championship against Kevin Knight. 24 minutes, 59 seconds. So this was shorter than... This was not the longest match of the evening. But still, for an AEW main event to go 24 minutes these days, I really enjoyed that. In a less cynical sense, though. This is another one that surprised me with how the match was structured. Because when you see Kevin Knight versus Kenny Omega, you're thinking, like, fireworks. You know what I mean? Didn't quite get that. We got it in moments. But it was a little bit more deliberate than that. And, you know, I always appreciate that. Match number 4 with Kevin Knight jumping Kenny Omega before the bell. However, because he did it before the bell, though, he got to choke him with his wrist tape without getting disqualified. And I really like that.
Big brain activity right there.
Yes. I don't know if this was deliberate or not, but Kevin Knight was wearing Toronto colors in Montreal. That's a big no-no there.
I bet it was.
Yeah, he was wearing maple leaf colored tights in the home of the Canadians. So that's a big rivalry in hockey. Yeah, Toronto and Montreal don't like each other, so just kind of he was, wearing their colors in enemy territory. But this made the closing of the show made a little bit more sense to me, because as the match went on, I feel like it was telegraphed that Kenny has this mean streak in him. Because he put Kevin Knight to the fucking sword, dude. Like, yeah. Now, granted, I could have done without the dialogue. Like, it felt a bit too much like NXT cutscene to me. But the actual physicality of the match, of like Kenny being like, I think it was telling us he's Kenny Omega. Like, he's still Kenny. He's not some broken down, like, this is not the last rodeo sort of deal. Like, he's still Kenny Omega. He'll still punish you. And it was just that classic trope of this young gun punching above his weight and being brought back down to earth. And Kevin Knight filled that role incredibly well, because when he did allow his athleticism to show, it was to get himself out of tricky situations, not just to do cool shit.
Trying to survive.
Yeah, exactly. Doing all those zero gravity, like DDTs and stuff, just to get out of a pinch. When he did take the big swing to do the coast to coast, it felt like it was out of desperation. This was a really good crash course of throwing him into the deep end and seeing what happens. I thought he did really well in this match.
For sure.
This, like, if this is his kind of main event dress rehearsal, like Kyle Fletcher got last year, I think he passed with flying colors.
AEW seems to do that every quarter. Have that one pay-per-view where you're gonna have that one star to see if they can hold their own, and so far they've hit it out the park every time.
Yeah. Also, he bumped like a maniac in this match. The power bomb on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Kenny also working between the shoulder blades too. Not something you see all the time. Also, you don't really see Kenny like target limbs very often either. So
that's bad right now.
Yeah. This was one where I'm going to take another look at this match eventually, like when, big list time comes around. I don't know if it'll make my list, but it's one I really appreciate the more that I actually sit here and think about it. Because it could have just been these two do all kind of wacky stuff. Like, I was anticipating a wild V-trigger counter, which you got a pop-up one. But the ones I'm going to remember are him just drilling him in the middle of the ring.
Shotgun knees him in the face.
Yeah. Really cool match. I enjoyed a lot of what they did with this one. Thought Kevin Knight, he's ready. I think Kevin Knight's ready. This was everything you need to know. Weren't done with the show yet, though. Man, this was a mess. Death Rider's coming out to jump Kenny doesn't surprise me. Ospreay not hesitating didn't surprise me. it just feels like nothing's lining up when it's supposed to with this Will Ospreay Death Rider situation. I either feel like he should have never joined or he should have been in it like fully committed since he came back. And then Kenny obviously having the last word, hitting the One Wing Angel. I left it. Obviously, we have more clarity now, even though whatever the hell the segment was tonight. I just left the show thinking, who the hell's the heel in this match? Yeah, and they kind of booked themselves into a corner. Do you want to just start there? Because I mean, we're already at an hour. Yeah, you want to just start with how? Yeah,
we can start how Dynamite. This is actually a good starting point for Dynamite because it leads right into that, right? So
yeah, so it's Ospreay coming into the building, running into the Death Riders, handing his badge back in. You know, the symbolic like I'm out. But it never felt like he was really in though.
Yeah, he
the only and then he had the owl on his jacket for the pay-per-view, and then like he walked out with Moxley before the Young Bucks match. I don't know why I omitted that when we talked about the match. So the fact that it truly felt like he was in was the same night that he was out. It all just felt a bit rushed, but you've had 4 months to build to this.
And like I tried like looking at it as a sense of like, okay, so Ospreay didn't want to kill Omega in a sense, right? And now so he has no Death Riders. He has Omega One Wing Angel them, so now he has, no respect on that end. So he's just trying to are they trying to make it so he's the super mega babyface by himself going into Wembley and defying every odd? But now are we gonna get that Mox match before Wembley? Oh, I don't know what y'all doing.
We actually got some matches for Tuesday announced, by the way. Bandito versus El Barbaro Cavernario. Kevin Knight versus Teton. And Kyle Fletcher versus Mascara Dorado. All seem very cool. I'm sorry to sidetrack there. Let's just talk about all the Death Rider stuff now. I think just because, I think we can be kind of loosey-goosey about TV here. Because we did, I think they missed a big opportunity with the Ospreay Death Rider stuff. It was a natural way to turn him heel. But the thing is, if you turn him heel, nobody's going to be against him at Wembley. So you're forced into a corner where Omega has to have an issue. But I still don't really know what his issue is off of the open mic night promo we got in the last half hour of Overrun. That's why I was like, let's just hash it all out here. Because he easily, Omega, if anything, his angle should be... He's not just going to lay down for Will Ospreay. He's the champion. He's back.
That's where I thought they were going with it was, we're not friends right now. I'm not, this is my livelihood. This is what I'm fighting for. That makes more sense.
Yeah, because everybody is expecting Ospreay to go in and just win. And, fulfill his dream and all these other things. To borrow a term from English football like he did tonight. Well, this one will make a lot more sense than the one he used. When a team's about to win the league, they call them the champion-elect. They're expected to win. They're in position to win. And Ospreay has felt like the world champion-elect for a very long time.
For a year and a half at least, right? 2 years?
Basically since he signed.
2 years?
Yeah. So, if you're Kenny Omega, and this is just full kayfabe thought process here, why the hell, he's not there for a formality. If anything, it's one of the biggest matches of his life as well, because when he drops that belt, that's kind of it for him. And so for him to now do the whole, you've never been my friend or whatever, it just seems very misguided.
It's just, they're rushing to find a reason when they could just have the two guys fight each other. There doesn't have to be a heel-face dynamic here.
I don't think for an AEW audience there had to be either. I think you could have just promoted Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, and people would have been down. On top of that, he's like, you're the mountain I needed to climb. Ospreay's win over Kenny Omega is in AEW. That Forbidden Door 3 years ago. So,
did they wrestle in Japan too?
They've wrestled, yeah. They wrestled at Wrestle Kingdom.
That's the one where he did that moonsault, the tower, right? The trust.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's their best match in my opinion.
I love that match. That's one of my favorite Ospreay matches.
Dude, that match is killer. And then before that, they just had a singles match in PWG.
Yeah, it was when
Ospreay 20.
He was at All-Star Weekend.
Yeah. They were both in just different parts of their lives. But so I kind of found a plot hole there. It was you're the mountain I have to climb. Yo, you beat him before you even signed here. It's wild how messy the build of this feels, because now Moxley's talking about some Continental Cup that they didn't even announce.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Josh looked at. He's like, Continental Cup. I was like, yeah, what the fuck that?
So I have no idea. And then, like, are the Death Riders going to still play into the main event? Or are they just going to let Ospreay win? And then here comes Moxley as his first challenger, which that's the likely option. I'm sure it'll be a good match because I figured Kenny's going to give whatever he has left. But they got, like, 4 weeks to reel this back in. Because whatever this was, I'm not feeling it.
At the ending to the Dynamite irritated my soul because it was such a great card. It was such a great show leading up to that.
Yeah, we can hit some bullet points here about the matches themselves.
We're not gonna go over everything, but we'll hit some. I had a really good time with Dynamite though. Like really,
Yeah, no. Like I think it offered a good variety. I enjoyed quite a few of the matches myself.
crowd was hot.
Crowd was really hot. I actually think they maybe went over time because it took Willow a long time to get going just because of how overwhelming the reaction is. So that's one of those where you have to ride that out. That was magic.
She had me ready to run through a damn wall.
Yeah. We'll get to Willow in a sec. We can go through some of the matches here. I think it's telling that they had Andrade out so soon. He feels like he's like insanely over, and it's funny because like the bullshit got him there, but he's still just like absolute business in the ring.
Yeah, man. Like I love Andrade. I'm gonna keep saying I love Andrade. Bullshit
He's in
aside, I love Andrade.
Hey, no, I mean, look, every wrestler's got their,
Yeah.
it's when I say bullshit, I just mean like, yo, it's like you got just a one-off line, viral essentially, and he's riding it out. But
That elbow is one of my favorite moves. I gave it to my dude on fucking 2K. That's how much I love that move.
yeah, it looks insane every time he does it. Much different type of match that he's been having as of late, considering he went from Jake Doyle and Mark Davis to essentially two cruiserweights here with Nick Wayne and Jack Perry. But I think it's just this is a way of AEW saying these are guys we want on our TV. Obviously, this was just like like a spot fest to get the crowd at fever pitch because boy were they into this. I was curious though, the lack of MJF, but MJF still being mentioned, he might actually be out for a considerable amount of time.
Yeah, if he's not popping up now to Fevers Andrade it all in, and he's not coming now.
Yeah, so I think Andrade in the Casino Gauntlet though, that it's a good spot for him.
Probably like a plan B, Plan A was like, oh man, I hope MJF can wrestle. If not, ooh, and then, can see, that's where you're going to see a debut or two.
Yeah, a couple of promos here. First, the Brawling Birds, which we will get to them in a little bit. Don Callis family. I mean,
This is bullshit.
yeah, where was he at?
The streak is over.
Yeah, no Lance Archer on Dynamite, so therefore bad Dynamite.
That's why the ending was dog shit.
Oh yeah, he would have had that. He would have had them wrapping it up
He would have
15
been in the
minutes
back.
ago.
He would have been off camera just tapping his watch.
Boss call was made.
He's
Boss call is not made tonight, but Okada Fletcher and maybe Takeshita seems to be the direction we're headed.
yes. So this promo here with all of them and Okada comes out. You're gonna probably get that 3-way at All In.
Mm-hmm.
Question to you:
Mm-hmm.
is it for the international title, Speedball, or does I guess never mind. It makes more sense for the international title.
Yeah, because Okada's whole thing was like, yeah, the belt's staying in the family.
Yeah.
He didn't say with who.
I forgot he said that. That's why I stopped myself.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to get. It wouldn't surprise me if we just get a singles match, but I do think they've wanted to do that 3-way for a while. They've been building towards it for a very long time.
I feel like they're gonna do Kevin Knight Speedball then.
But I don't think Okada's had a singles match at Wembley because the Kenny match was in Texas. And I feel like they want an Okada singles match at Wembley Stadium. So we'll see.
Or if they do that, then I feel like you get Speedball Kevin Knight again. You're gonna have Speedball on this card, man. That's your Speedball will probably be in the casino match, maybe.
I feel like that's a good spot for him. I think if Kevin Knight has a singles match, it's going to be Darby again.
More sense.
Yeah, because Darby was off this show as well. Which hey, he probably needs time off if anything.
Just straight taking thumbtack bumps.
They're gonna put him in a hyperbaric chamber until they're gonna drop him off the Wembley Arch or something.
Williams.
I don't know. But Don Callis family was assembled because it was
Not all the
Fletcher,
Don Callis family.
not everybody, but this formation being Brian Cage, Jake Doyle, Kyle Fletcher against Brodito and Speedball. And this was a nice way to string together Fletcher's last defense to his next defense. And they kept it with that similar structure to the Brodito Okada Fletcher match, where Bandito was in trouble for the majority of the match, and they really, really, really milked that hot tag. And I think this was the perfect crowd to do that for.
And it's made for us too, because Jake Doyle's in it.
Yeah. We got one Shiesty on the babyface team, but one's better than none.
Archer, no shiesty on the mask.
Yeah, a little short-handed here, dude. But really fun 6-man, all things considered. And Fletcher Speedball, I mean, the work speaks for itself. We should be in for a good one next week.
In Mexico, yeah.
I was convinced that the Bucks, Cage, and Cope sit-down was going to be an in-ring promo, and then they would have rolled out somebody.
That's what I thought too.
That didn't happen. And I don't think you're going to debut the Motor City Machine Guns on a live Collision. So I don't really know what we're doing here. Like I said earlier in the show, I think if you do have like this big match with all these tag teams who have a claim to being one of the best, you could do that. But I totally understand why the Bucks and why Cage and Cope would just want the straight up match in Wembley, even if it's not what I would prefer. And if that's all this is, kind of not that interested in the build. It's just kind of be whatever until we're actually there.
If they, now they would do that. Like a ladder match all out, I'll lose my mind. Just to let you know. But yeah, I don't know, man. This promo or this little vignette thing or interview didn't really do anything for me. It's boring. It was just, Nick didn't look there, you know, still looked concussed.
Yeah, now he's selling it. But regardless, something I was incredibly interested in, I thought Maya World vs. Persephone was like actually really good.
And Red Rule, crowd door for Persephone. Gee Louise.
Yeah, and considering the style of the two matches before it, these two getting to the mat immediately, it was like just really refreshing to see. And they offered a little bit of everything because, like I said, they were doing a lot of cool mat transitions until, Persephone is a powerhouse. Maya World can hold her own. And this was just kind of just a really neat cut and dry TV match that I will take any day of the week.
Yeah, this was awesome. This should definitely this match definitely should have switched places, I think, with Commander and Mox.
Yeah, I think in a way they wanted to go from Stat to Willow, which I think my only gripe with this was that there was like a lot of interference and noise at the end of this. Like just give Maya World the win, you know what I mean? But like I said, done a really good job Maya World, really showing her talents in a match like this. And since Persephone signed the dual contract, she hasn't really had too many chances on Dynamite to show her stuff. But I was really impressed by her here. I thought this was a sneakily good TV match, and I would recommend it. Yep. That segued into, and we had the Davis pre-tape, which, Davis Ospreay would be cool. This is also going to be like yet another country they've had a match in, which is kind of nuts to think about.
They have a checklist. They have a punch card.
So I know they've done the UK. I know they've done Japan. Obviously, they've done America. They're going to do Mexico now. And I want to see, I don't know if they've actually had a singles match in Australia, but it's a very traveled pair. They've,
Ray wins his belt and they go to Grand Slam Australia.
There you go.
Knock it off the Subway punch card.
Yeah, get a free sub. The Willow celebration was awesome.
Ready to run through a wall. I don't know what, just the crowd not letting her talk, just because she deserves every bit of this. And I said it to you, I was like, hey, Mercedes don't need to win this belt. Let Willow win it all in.
Look, it's important for her to get that kind of reaction. Because shit travels in wrestling. Like, so many things will happen in one AEW room, it'll carry over to the next one. Or like, for example, other side of the fence on majors, you have American WWE fans doing the soccer songs for wrestlers. So when you see Willow getting this sort of reaction, getting this kind of reaction, like that will spread. And it's so important that they get this title reign correct. They can't drop the ball with this like they did with Stat.
Yeah, they can't. If they do, then it just proves they need help in the women's booking.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, for all my problems with Mercedes promos, I thought she actually did sound fairly human here.
This one was the more like tame one.
It was honestly one of her better ones in AEW, I would say.
Tame. It was straight to the point.
And I'm like, holy shit! This is the match I'm most excited for on Wembley so far.
Same.
Their past series has been tremendous.
I think I'm biased because I'm excited for Osprey to get that title. So
I mean, that match. I mean, look, like I said, Kenny's gonna give everything. They're gonna go nuts, and then obviously he is gonna have the big defining moment. But I just got so caught up in this segment where, like, I can't remember a women's title match in AEW that's felt like this in quite some time.
probably for me, probably Tony Storm.
I mean, Tony and Mercedes felt like the biggest match they could run at the time.
But like even that, but like if we're like talking about build though, like build
Tony,
up,
Tony and Mariah.
that's what I'm thinking. Tony, Mariah, May, and then that ending match they did was nuts. So
Hollywood ending. Yeah, Hollywood ending was great. But when you really zoom out, though, I was so confused that Mercedes came back as a heel. But now I'm happy that we're here. Like, this feels like the right move. I am very excited for this match. And I will be cheering on Willow to retain. With the big schmoz at the end of it, though, I mean, Brawling Birds Divine Dominion feels like the right step.
like we talked about last week, I think you could strap them up.
Yeah, oh yeah, if they're in England, just give everybody the feel-good stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All in is the feel-good show. All out is where the pain and misery happen.
It's always in Chicago. They know that we love that shit. So
Oh yeah.
Osprey and Mox gonna kill each other and all.
Yeah. But really good segment to kick off this build to the women's world title match at Wembley. I was very impressed, and just keep that support behind Willow, man. Like, she felt like the ace here.
Yeah, she's definitely the ace of the women's division currently. Like leading the pack, she had the crowd behind her. Everyone's behind her. Like this is a long time in the making.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I like what Mercedes said too, though. Like why she doesn't like her is because every time or every notch in my career, you're always there.
Dude, it's true though. Like the broken foot, it just happened to be Willow, and she worked Julia and Cork and Hall on 4th of July weekend after that. It's supposed to be Mercedes. Like, then obviously all those, like, you know, Willow's been a big part of Mercedes' AEW career. Like, it actually really worked out that all roads led to here for this match, and then she just happens to have the one thing that Mercedes couldn't win. Like, there's a lot of really good stuff there to work with, and these two have delivered every time they've wrestled. Even the match where Mercedes broke her foot, up until that point, like, they were, and like that's when Willow was, you know, a bit less proven than she is now.
I forgot about that match until they mentioned. Like they didn't mention it, but when she said like every part of my career you've been there, and I was like, wait a minute, didn't they have some like New Japan Strong stuff going on or something? Like,
yeah, they did like
something like that.
They did like a one-night tournament for the women's strong belt, which I don't know if that's still an active title.
I don't think so. I haven't heard about it.
And if I'm not mistaken, Stephanie Vaquero was in that tournament as well.
I think she was.
I want to say that was the first time I saw her wrestle, because then she wrestled Mayu Iwatani later in the year in Texas, but neither here nor there. It's just very interesting how, like, you know, one injury leads to all kind of other things, but now you turn it into something really positive. And this just feels like a huge match now. Like, I'm really invested in this one.
This is like, for me, has the best story going into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, and my favorite wrestler is Osprey, so like that's that feel good moment for me.
I mean, this is his crowning moment, dude.
And if they don't do it, I'm gonna cry.
You can't overthink this one. Like,
I'll cry.
If this match was happening in Texas, maybe, like, if it was all in somewhere else, but not at Wembley. No, this show is for him at this point. Like, it's his time. But a couple more things on Dynamite to go over. Moxley Commander was cool. I feel like whenever Moxley's in the ring with a luchador, you're wondering how he's going to work around that stuff. And this was cool. Not one of his better matches, but still good. I thought
this was not announced night, like hour of, I guess.
Mm-hmm. It feels like since Commander's come back, Tony's really wanted to get him on TV a lot. Which, hey, Commander's cool. Something I really loved in this match was the bump on the cutter, where Mox flipped the bird real quick, like hit him with a cutter to counter, and then like Commander, he did like a full ass flip. That looked really
Actually,
yeah, very much. It was very much a hey, like Kenny and Ospreay aren't wrestling. We gotta get Mox on the show. And then Mox is going off about this Continental Cup, which I have no idea. Like, is this like a summer defense before the winter tournament? Yeah, maybe that was supposed to air tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah, that was sick. Yeah, so tomorrow, heavy Death Riders involvement on Collision. There's going to be some sort of multi-man between Bang Bang Gang and Death Riders, and then like Garcia versus Ospreay, which they had a pretty good one a couple years ago.
Little brother, Ospreay's little brother Garcia is so bad in the beginning.
Which is funny because Garcia just keeps calling him Young Boy Bill.
Like, yeah, young Billy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we should be good. I'm gonna have it on probably background noise, to be honest.
Yeah, I gotta see what I'm doing tomorrow, but I'll definitely throw some things on the old growing watch list. That'll be my post-op recovery though. But main event of the wrestling and of our podcast, since we covered the segment, the Demand against the Conglomeration kicked every bit of ass that we said it would.
Match of the night.
Oh yeah.
And our boys fucking did it, right? So.
Bishop Khan knew that they were on overrun. He was not wasting any time getting into this.
I was sitting there and the Demand was coming out, and I was watching him. I was like, "Yo, he's gonna run to that ring," because I just kept watching him. And then he ran to the ring, and I was like, "Yeah." They told him go out there and hurry up, kill everyone.
And that's what separates this from like maybe one of the more like high flying kind of matches where there's a ton of moving parts. Everything in this was like there's just a little bit of extra stank on everything, a little bit of extra mustard on everything. And I like how there are still these clever moments of where they put a new spin on the Orange Cassidy shtick, because we've seen him getting picked up by the waistband before.
Never by the pockets.
By the pockets, dude. Totally on as a fucking man.
He said, "Hold my pocket."
That was insane. They gave Roddy quite a bit to do, and the crowd was really behind him, which was nice to see. And just, man, I love the Demand, and I love when they're able to work as a unit like this. This sort of gang warfare works.
Yeah.
Don Callis family and Death Riders worked. Conglomeration versus the Demand works. Doesn't got to be hard. You don't got to overcomplicate it. You just take 6 dudes like this, let them go at it, and chances are it'll be sick. This was awesome, and like I don't really have much to say because so much was happening.
So,
but if you're looking for just a smash mouth sprint, no all-star, but like just people going nuts, laying everything in, ton of moving parts, but it's never hard to follow. Really good TV match, and they could honestly run this every week until the big show, and I'll be happy. I don't really know where they're going with that.
I think they said on commentary that they're trying to earn their spot into the Demand.
I don't think the Demand needs more people, so they're probably going to add them anyways, but...
You don't need all these groups.
Because I think, like, the 3 of them work so well together, and now that they're finally champs, like, just give them more time.
Let Toa Leona beat everyone's ass.
He's so awesome.
So I have a very high hope for a Toa Leona Brody King match after what happened after the match.
I think they can run like some sort of, I mean, or unless it's the Demand defending against Rodito and Hangman or Arena Mexico, but I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it at all.
But I'm trying to think of because I feel like now that Hangman's not back on TV, he's gonna be on All In.
Yeah, and if Fletcher's not the match, he's gonna need something to do. I mean, that would be a sick ass match though. Rodito and Hangman against the Demand. I mean, yeah, that's gonna be sick. Yeah, you kind of said it best. Like the wrestling on this show, we had a lot of fun with. It was just, man, that this main event it built and how long they went with it. I called it open mic night. that really spiraled. But 5 weeks till the big show, a little less. We got like a month and some change here. I think it's actually by the time you hear this, it'll be exactly a month, so not 5 weeks. It's enough time to, stick the landing. But that was it for Redemption and the coinciding television. Yeah,
Redemption for how long? For starting early and you still ran all these long matches.
yeah, I can't, I don't understand the thought process. And I hate coming on here every time it's a pay per view and been bitching about the length, but it's like, that show had no excuse
Like I
going
be
out.
mad about the length if it flowed good. I think that's my issue.
Yeah,
Like nothing flows well when there's long pay-per-views like that.
one of these, like, we need to bring back the 8 minute sprint.
I'm saying, but the one saving grace. Well, it's not even a saving grace, but the one good thing is at least All In's on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, and that being their biggest show of the year, it's like you almost expect it to go long.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year was like 4.5, 4 hours somewhere.
But even so, like, the Casino Gauntlet's a good way to get around that because, like, it's designed for a long show like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
matches.
Well, plenty.
Matches like that are good for big events.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, we'll be back next week to discuss Grand Slam Mexico, which I hope there's a little bit more CMLL involvement on the actual card there because it's pretty heavy with AW matches exclusively. Do you know if it's going to be longer than 2 hours?
It didn't say. It didn't. So I don't think so.
Okay.
It didn't say like special 3 hour because you know if it's 3 hours, they always tell you like a million times.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll be back.
Where's
Should be
Mystico
normal
at?
schedule. That's what I'm saying. We should be back on normal schedule next week for Grand Slam Mexico and anything else. Our thoughts from whatever SummerSlam we decide to catch, and etc. Chris, you got anything for me this week?
I got.
Same here. Well, if you got this far into the podcast, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you again next time.